Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. I am your disheveled goblin host Daniel Greene, and today we're gonna go ahead and kick this off by just talking right away about a cover reveal from John Gwynne, The Shadow of the Gods. This was rolled out yesterday for you, just now for me, and I'm a big fan of this rollout for a couple reasons. First, John Gwynne seems to have done it alongside with a booktuber named Patrick Leo, and that's community fan engagement. All the bonus points, man. So if you'd like to check out that video, of course, I'll have it linked right down below. But let's go ahead and talk about this cover itself. Shall we? Can we? You know what? I need more in-depth examination is needed. Jumping to that. All right, let's go ahead and give this bad boy a look-see, right? Because you can't deny this is amazingly impactful just up front immediately. So let's start with the obvious thing here. It's a bit No, the dragon. The dragon. All right. I like a dragon on a cover. Sue me. Yeah, I'm a fantasy fan. I dig me some dragons. The immediate double impact is so spot on where it's like, oh, that's a big dragon. Then you notice little man down here and you're like, oh no, it thickums. So it's definitely a cover we've seen along the lines of before. Someone going up against a dragon is not uncommon for a fantasy cover. But this one is just doing it big. It's doing it well realized in the art. Like the composition here is, I love it. And then the fighter is so small. It's so not the focus. And I've definitely seen dragon covers where the dragon's like the background feature and the fighter, the protagonist, the whatever's in there takes up the majority of what you're looking at. I hate that. I'm sorry, I don't care who your protagonist is. I want to look at the dragon more, please. So I very much so am a fan of the fact that this cover is like, screw that guy. Look at the big lizard with wings, because duh. So John Gwynne and the artist, which name I'll put up right now because I didn't bother looking it up. I apologize, that's my bad. Very well done. I like you. I love you. Let's all open a bar together. God damn it. I like thick dragons. But moving on from there, we also had another cover reveal for the Dresden Files. It seems we're bringing a new style of cover for the series, starting with the first book, Stormfront, and it's a much more minimal appeal. Look at that bad boy right there. I'm quite the fan, although I think I'm pretty much set with my collection of the original ones over there in paperback, and this is, from what I've been able to see, just a paperback re-release of the first book. I haven't seen this in hardcover yet, though I could be wrong. So if you have $9.99 to spend and want to check out the Dresden Files, there's a new and fresh way to do so, though honestly I recommend the audiobooks. James Marsters is just absolutely exquisite at bringing that book to life, though his performance gets better as the series goes on, so I guess if you're gonna do one read, the first book is probably the correct way to go. All right, I'm not usually one to talk about leaks too much because it's just something I don't appreciate doing within the industry, but this is already everywhere, so I can go ahead and say it. There's a Dragonlance Leak happening for a new novel being published July 29th of 2021. This is coming from Amazon Europe, where they just apparently put up the listing too soon, and it got out there. So I'm sorry for the people who don't want this announcement to be out yet, but to the Dragonlance fans, hell yeah! And this will have Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman as the co-authors. With the settlement, obviously with that lawsuit being handled, I think out of court is the last thing I heard, though it's still, we're not as fans entirely in the know at this point. So, new Dragonlance from the people we want them from, yay! And now, the Stabby Winners have been released over in the r/fantasy subreddit, the largest community of fantasy fans in existence. And may I say, thank you so much for giving me best related content. That means the world. It still feels exquisite to be recognized by my favorite online fantasy community outside my own. So much love and appreciation there. But more notably than me, it seems they've had a few winners that are different than what we saw here in the Fantasy Awards. Probably because they're actually constrained to 2020 releases, but still. Best novel for the Stabby Awards actually went to The Trouble with Peace. The best novella went to The Empress of Salt and Fortune. The best debut novel went to The Unspoken Name. And best self-published/independent went to The Torch That Ignites the Stars. So if you'd like to see their full list of winners, go ahead and check them out in the link down below. And thank you yet again. I can't wait to have two Stabbies. Double the mic holders. I'll have two mic. I can do surround sound. Is that how that works? I don't know. And in the final piece of hardcore fantasy news we'll be covering here today, we have an excerpt that Malazan fans, I imagine, are going to be quite piqued by. And that is going to be an excerpt from the upcoming Fiends of Nightmaria by Steven Erikson, is officially available on poorforgeblog.com. Correction, Fiends of Nightmaria is a novella, not a full Malazan entry. I did not realize that till I just saw it. So Malazan fans, if you'd like to give this a looky-loo, please do so, and also prepare for the Malazan series review on the channel before too long. Now for this next story, I've never seen anything like this going on in the fantasy community, and it's definitely a clear sign of the day and age we're in, and I'm so pumped to see how it works out. Off the Beaten Path is an upcoming choose your own adventure musical happening on Zoom, where the audience will get to participate in this live reading fantasy tale. It's 100% free and will have known Disney and Broadway actors involved. So if you'd like to go ahead and check this out, of course, I have the link to sign up for the Zoom right down below. Thank you, Michael Kramer and Kay Redding, for bringing this to my attention. And Tori, I hope this goes awesome because this is neat. And this will be occurring January 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fascinating. And now we're going to go into a quick piece of quickie news. It appears that Universal will be putting a lot of their monster classic movies on YouTube for free. So if you've not seen the likes of Frankenstein, do so. It's awesome, and you definitely should. As well as Bride of Frankenstein, worth it as well. And if you haven't seen Dracula, what do you do with your time? Not watch Dracula, it seems. That's fair. That's a very fair answer. I appreciate that answer. Now, in quite the controversial, will it be good? Is this the decline of a studio news? We're seeing the actual first trailer drop for Earwig and The Witch, the first completely computer-generated movie from Studio Ghibli. They are a studio that is respected for their true commitment to art, and with them doing a computer-generated animated movie, a lot of people are like, hey, this has a high bar to live up to. This trailer left me whelmed. It just kind of lined up exactly what I was expecting at this point. I don't have high hopes, I don't have low hopes. I think this has the potential to be solid, and I hope for more, but this trailer didn't exactly fill me with a frothing desire to go out and see it. That was phrasing. This will be coming out in 2021, and let me know what you think of this upcoming Ghibli release in the comments down below. Is this the sign of a decline, a new era of potential rising to new heights for Ghibli? We don't know yet, so it's all gonna be conjecture, and I'm a big fan of conjecture. We also got the news that apparently April 9th will be the final day that we ever get new Attack on Titan as fans. Unfortunately, this will be the end of the manga series, but we will continue to see the TV show live on for some amount of time until that ends as well. All right, I try to refrain from superhero news as much as possible, but we have had so much hype around the upcoming WandaVision show, I feel the need to address it. We did have our first clips come out, so you can easily find those online. I'll have one or two of them linked down below. And we've had a lot of early reviews coming out and highly praising it. And I just want to take this as an opportunity, a moment, if you may. I have zero trust for these early reviews that get dropped. Not in the sense that I don't believe them, that it won't be good, or maybe it'll be bad because they're so positive. I just think there's no correlation causation here. It's just a matter of these people are brought in early to do early reviews because Disney knows there are people who will say good things. So it's not actually like reflective in a review sense at all, in my opinion. No offense to anyone there who's done these. Like, I trust you did enjoy it, like you're being honest, but the people who are brought into these are brought in because they're strategically thought to be like, that's someone who probably is going to dig our stuff. I'm not saying it's not going to be good. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying, for me, early reviews mean zilch most of the time. The only ones that I actually am bothered by are how frequently in these early reviews I see people say I was left in a puddle of tears, completely changed how I thought of entertainment and acting. It's redefining brain stimulation. No. It's a TV show by Marvel. It's probably really fun, well-structured, decently put together, with some entertaining characters. And that's what we expect from Marvel. These early reviews seem to hype stuff so much. It's like there's an ad-lib challenge of trying to get the most intense hype words possible in there. And now for news about bringing fantasy into reality. Nintendo World has been in development for quite some time and is obviously highly anticipated by the millions of diehard Nintendo fans out there. And if you want to go ahead and get your little first look, your little sneaky poos, they have a virtual tour, I'll put that in quotes, that you can participate in and see what they're going for. I did my best to navigate it. It was kind of oddly confusing at times and frustrating in some ways. You can translate it to English, but I recommend you give this a look because if you're not even someone who's a fan of theme parks, which I'm not, this is just an interesting case of marketing they're doing. I haven't seen a virtual tour for a unreleased park like this, where they're obviously trying to really give you some kind of feeling, some kind of vibe of actually what the experience of the park itself will be like. And I'm someone who's always kind of interested in the development of marketing in the modern age, so it's worth it for several reasons. So if you want to see what the potential for Nintendo World is, you just can do that right there sitting on your butt wherever you are right now. That's kind of fun. It's time for an awkward potato transition where I had a story that I cut out, so what I say makes no sense. And then we're going to transition to the next story. And that's that Deadpool is going to be in the MCU and also retain his R rating. So it seems the fans of Deadpool are getting exactly what they asked for in that sense. Also, Ryan Reynolds is directly reportedly involved with writing the script. So they're taking the existing character, folding him into the MCU, and not constraining what can come out of his mouth. Supposedly. This is still Disney, so an R-rated Disney Deadpool probably still has more constraints than what we've seen before. Disney's not really big on the whole self-criticizing meta. Disney's an awful, evil corporation that's done so many terrible things to people in the past. I forgot what I was saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not down with that. So while this is undeniably good news for Deadpool fans who were nervous about whether or not he'd be like constrained to a PG-13 rating, I'm very interested to see what the actual result will be. Will it feel like a hollow shell that's just trying to check the boxes of what Deadpool is, or it will maintain the zany, genuine appeal that Ryan Reynolds was able to bring to the character before? But this has been your latest episode of Fantasy News. If you would like to contribute to the Fantasy News discourse in the future and post articles that I potentially can cover here, go ahead and join the Discord server and post any fantasy news stories you'd like in the Fantasy News channel. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Peace. And of course, I'd like to record a special shout out to my two latest high tier Patreons, Michael Lowry and Katya. Hope you guys are having a good one. Peace.